All right, everybody, we're back with another video here, and today I'm going to walk you through the backward Felge or Felge or backward roll, however you want to pronounce it. I'm just going to say backward roll on the rings. So this is a really fun movement to do, and it's a good display of. It's not really a conditioning exercise, but it's good to incorporate into your combos on the rings, and it's a good thing to practice for your proprioception, coordination, and explosive strength. So the key to this movement is really in that initial thrust or initial explosive pull that you do. I've seen a lot of other videos where you start on the ground and you kind of kick up to get some momentum and then spin around and working from there. But I've never had any luck with that. And how I learned it was just starting from an inverted kind of pike position and then kipping from there, combined with a pull. And I'll explain exactly what that means. So when you do a backward roll, it's a lot harder than a forward roll because you're starting underneath the rings and you want to get above the rings. Whereas a forward roll, you're already above the rings and you just roll to underneath the rings, or you could continue that momentum to get you back above the rings. A lot easier, but backward roll, it's going to require a lot more strength. So make sure, before you start this, make sure that you're warmed up. I already did my warm up. I'm a little sweaty. I'm a little out of breath, and because you don't want to pull a muscle or anything like that. And also make sure you thoroughly warm up your shoulders and your wrists. So you're going to really need a false grip on this movement. So I suggest chalking up and make sure you don't have any tears in your skin, on your wrists if you are practicing your false grip. And also mentally, make sure you're ready for this. It is quite challenging, especially in the beginning when you start learning this. So do it on a day where you feel good, you feel confident, and it's not on a day right after you work your lats or your biceps, because you're really going to need, and also even your triceps. You're going to really need all those muscles and your forearms to execute this properly. So for me, I like to practice it towards the end of the week, depending on your split. But again, it depends on how you feel, what your mentality is, what your energy level is. So today I feel good. I feel confident I could pull these off. So there you go. And then lastly, you're not going to get it 100% of the time. Just like anything we learn in calisthenics, you might do 1 out of 10 attempts. You might do 1 out of 20. But it's that one attempt, that one successful attempt that's going to keep you going. So today I might not even get, all of mine in. All right, so I'll show you the step-by-step. First I'll do one, and then I'll kind of show you what I was doing. So I'll start with getting a false grip. I have the rings at about a height where I'm comfortable. If I bail, I'm not going to hurt myself, and I could get above the rings without my feet touching the ground. So here they're about eyeball height. So you get into a false grip, and you're going to get into an inverted pike. So here, and pike, oh yeah, you stretch. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up, okay? I'm going to pull and simultaneously kick my legs out, shoot them out that way. And then what that will do, it's going to flip me over, and hopefully I'll be in this position when I turn over. And then it's just a matter of getting into support. So, okay, I wanted to stop a little bit because my back was a little tight. So I'm going to get back into it again. So you want to focus on that pull and kip out, and then try to turn your body around into support. Okay. So I'm going to get into false grip, into a pike, oh, and and then there. All right, so that wasn't the cleanest attempt I've done. You saw my legs flail a little bit, but that's okay. As long as you get above, that's the key. The key is timing that pull with that kip out, okay? So what that's gonna do, is it's gonna change your center of gravity when you straighten your legs out, so that way you can pivot around the rings. Now the third thing you have to be conscious of is your angle, your forearm or your elbow, keeping it bent. So what happens is when a lot of people do these, is when they pull up and they turn around, their arm ends up like this. And you're pretty much done here. It's gonna be very hard for you to pull it back in, recover, and then get in. So what you wanna do is, when you pull up, keep that bend in your arm. Try to maintain that, so that way when you turn around, you'll at least be right here. Okay, ideally you're gonna be a little more straighter, but your arms will be out here, and then you could muscle your way back into the support. So that's why it takes a little bit of strength to get these at first, because you want to be able to have enough strength to muscle your way back up into support. So a lot of this is timing and coordination with that kip and that push. So let's try it again. And you want to make sure you kip out, okay? Not up, but out, kind of like at an angle, up and out, almost like 30 degrees out. All right, so get into my false grip again. Make sure my straps are in the right place. All right, so false grip, mentally prepare yourself. Take a deep breath, get that oxygen into your blood. Get into the reverse pike, or inverted pike. Explode and kip same time. Again, it's timing that kip with that pull, and then that angle. Once you transition, once you turn over, make sure your hands are right next to your sides and not out here. Otherwise, you got to bail. And when you bail, just try to get your feet under you and hit the ground with your feet first. Just try to be safe. Okay, so the next thing you could do, once you've kind of gotten used to that feeling of turning and transitioning and kipping, is you could start from that support position, drop down, and then do a backward roll from there. So let's try that. All right, so you could do a muscle up into the support position, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna jump up into support. So you wanna make sure, again, you're on the right side of the straps, not hitting the buckle. Okay, so I'm in my false grip. Now I'm gonna jump up. Now what I like to do is go into an L, drop down into an L. I'm just gonna explain it first. I go into an L, I drop down into an L, and then I spin around, keeping that false grip. I'll spin around that L and get back into that inverted, kind of in one motion, get back into that inverted pike, and then do that kipping motion all in one. Okay, so mentally prepare yourself for that, and then execute. Also, you want your rings to be swinging as little as possible, because the more it's swinging, it's going to take away from your momentum, and it's be very hard to pull it off. All right, let's give it a shot. Mentally prepare yourself. Okay, so today my form isn't the best. Kicking out, I'm kind of whipping my legs, but that's all right. Get the movement down, and then you can start working on making it pretty. I'm not so concerned about making it pretty. I just like to do it, and then and that's doing it from a support. Now, when you get really comfortable with it, you can start combining rotations, doing 2 or 3 or 4 rotations in a row. But what you want to be aware of is when you do that, your straps are going to start to get twisted. So what I recommend is getting some hangers, some swivel hangers, so that way your straps, like I have here, my straps don't get twisted. I could keep spinning this round and round, and the straps will always straighten out. That way you could keep spinning all you want. So let's try to do like 2 rotations in a row, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I might not be successful, but that's the whole point, all right? So I'm taking pretty short breaks. Make sure you're mentally ready every time you get up there. Focus on what you need to do. All right. Make the rings still. I'm swinging. Oh boy. See, I'm swinging too much, so I'm gonna bail. All right. You don't want to be swinging that much, but I was able to get at least two in there. And if you're swinging that much, maybe do an opposite roll. Try to counter it, or try to control that swinging while stabilizing your arm. So that's it. That's a backward roll. Again, you might not get it on the very first time. You might not get it on the 5th time or the 10th time. Eventually it will click, and it's about that timing. So make sure you time that pull and that kip together, and then focus on that position of where your hand is. So what I had to do, especially when I first started, was mentally like say, okay, pull, and then keep it there. All right, you want to be high above, you want to be right here with your ribs right next to your hands. So just focus on that pull, turn, and keeping that hand positioning. Once you recovered that hand positioning and your legs, you're pivoting around your body, around your hands, you got it. You could just push back up at the support. But just be aware that your hands aren't far away from your body like this. You're not gonna be able to recover from that. All right, so it's a backward roll, so good luck out there on your calisthenics journey. And so let me know if you have any questions.